Yeah, you're good. You're good to go.
Okay, perfect. All right. Thank you everyone for coming today. We have Jamie Purvis with us. He's been in the real estate industry for over 35 years. He did sell for, I think it was 16 years.
23 and
Um,
a half.
23 and a half. Okay. So Jamie's probably seen everything. So, we are excited to have him here. Jamie does the Be Do Have movement. I think in a time where everything is kind of changing and everything feels really different, I think what Jamie kind of does is try to create repeatable business in general. Again, he's going to talk about it all, but honestly, Jamie, thank you very much for coming or being online and letting us record you. I think it'll be a good session, and I think we all just need to get back on track here. And so I'll leave
Uh,
it up to you, Jamie, and then we'll go through it. If no one can hear anything, just let us know. But we should be good to go.
okay, awesome. Well, I appreciate the opportunity, everybody, and thank you for being here. I want to thank Caitlin and the leadership team to provide this opportunity for me to help you in this current market condition. It is a different market, right? It's not what it used to be. And I can't believe I'm coming up to 40 years in the business this July. So I'm often sharing with people right now, unless you've been around for 30 plus years, you've likely never experienced this market. It's different. And the first thing I want to help everybody with today is mindset. I'm going to share some ideas around how do you convert your own mindset first to understand the opportunity in this market. And then I'll share some ideas to that you can implement when you're working with clients so they transition from lead to prospect to client to selling as fast as possible because we can connect with people quicker. So that's my context for today. And just to transition again, I've 40 years coming up in real estate. Um, I think Claire is longer than me. There might not be too many people longer than us. I remember from last year, Claire, I think was 42 or 44 years. So, um, yeah, we've seen it, and I haven't seen everything. When I was managing the office, as soon as I said I thought I saw everything, something new showed up. I've seen this type of market though, and I've seen what's going through with buyers. I've seen what realtors are facing and experiencing right now, and we're having a hard time, and it's an opportunity market. So the first idea I want to impress upon everyone, this is a massive opportunity. There is so much opportunity right now, and I believe this in my soul because people are looking for leadership. Your office is purely, this is evident in your office. You have great leadership. They're providing training on a regular basis, giving you the best opportunity that you can step into becoming the best realtor you can be in this current market. So when I was selling real estate, I did that for 23 and a half years. I sold in the peak of the market in 89. And then what everyone's experiencing right now over the last 3, 4 years, we went through for 7 years. So just think what you're going through, add another 3 years to it or 4 years to it. And that's what we went through and we survived it. And what I learned going through that is the opportunity I had was to develop my sales skills. And part of that is how do we learn to communicate with people? And a lot of it, the old scripts that we had, and I say scripts lightly, we have multiple offers, we need more money. That doesn't work today for buyers. And you probably are sitting right now with sellers sitting on the market. There's listings out there that aren't selling. People are holding on to old prices that aren't coming back yet. Down the road, this market may shift and the pendulum will move in the next 2, 3 years, but it's likely not going to be this year. So how do we help people get ahead of the market? And languaging and communicating with clients is what you'll be able to share. I will share today that you can take and implement. And then we have buyers that are waiting. They're waiting for something, but really nobody really knows what they're waiting for. It's almost like they're waiting for a bidding wars to come back so they can start throwing money at it, right? And so we have this duality of the market. So how do we help people transition and get what they want? And at the end of the day, help you sell more real estate. The module that we're going over today, the Client Converter, is one of the modules in our program, the Repeatable Revenue Roadmap program. And this is a program that's designed to help you generate a business of consistent income, 75,000 or more every 90 days. So we say it's a $300,000 mindset real estate program. And today's session is that's where it comes from. overview. Actually, just before I do, for anybody that's in the chat or in the room, a temperature check in the room. How many years in real estate? I'd love to get if you just enter in the chat for me, how many years in real estate? Gives me a lot of perspective. And interesting enough, I've been working with some realtors recently that are in the business less than a year, and they're killing it. Like they're having incredible years right now because they have no perspective. So they don't know what things were like. They just know this is their reality. So they're working in the market that we're in without any sense of it's different or a bad market. 9 years, 10 years, okay, 12. All right. So we're all in the business where this is a new market for everybody. So I'm going to help you understand the client converter process. First client I'm going to help you convert is yourself. And we're going to talk about mindset and how to do that so we can reset our state. So we finish the year and have our best year ever. So that's one mindset I want to share with everybody. Evaluating personality style. So as I go through today's session, I want you to think about two people. Number one, you. So identifying who you are based on your personality style. I'm going to guide you through that. And then the second thing is I'd like you to start to think about a client that you are working with right now, buyer, seller, or both, that you would like to convert into a sale in the next 90 days. Let's do it shorter. Let's do 30 days. Who would you like to sell in the next 30 days that you're currently working with? So as I'm going through this workshop today, think about yourself and think about the client and start to identify who they are based on their personality style, because that's going to help you in your languaging and in your conversations. And I will share 4 questions based on personality style that help people move forward faster. And all this is implementing and developing our communication skills. At the end of the day, it's about helping you sell more real estate faster and easier in this market. Because right now it may not feel easy. It's just feeling like it's tough. It's taking longer, right? The sales process is taking longer. But what if we could convert people so they move faster in this market? And that's what's possible through our languaging and through our communication. And then how do we master all this? At the end of the day, this is one step. Mastery is an ongoing process. So mastery comes time over time, 10,000 hours, they say to mastery. So this is just a quick snapshot of some ideas that I'd like to share. Feel free to also take any photos of these slides. Feel free to tag us on Instagram at the Be Do Have Movement and follow us as well. And I'm very active on LinkedIn. So quick question, who is active on LinkedIn? Who's building their business on LinkedIn? Who's generating leads on LinkedIn? Just type yes or no in the comment for me. Curious to see what's happening there because there is a massive, massive opportunity on LinkedIn. And last year, 60% of our new business came from LinkedIn. But we are working on a few ideas to help realtors with that as well. Still goes back to communicating. Okay, so let's get a foundation of where you are right now. So we've updated our income assessment for 2026. So we're going to take a minute to do this right now. Encourage everyone to take a photo of the QR code. And this is going to give you a foundation of what's working for you in your business right now. 10 questions, enter your contact information, answer each question. Each question has 3 answers. Just pick the answer that best suits you. It's 1, 2, or 3. And at the end, you're going to score yourself based on how you answered the questions. And you will get an email back with your assessment. I'm just going to give you a second to do this. And as you're doing it, once you're done, just type yes in the chat or done in the chat for me so I get a perspective of when you're done. This is so valuable right now because sometimes we lose sight of what's actually in front of us or where most of our business has come in the past. I'm going to talk as you're focused on your questions. So this helps you get really clear on what are the 1 or 2 ways that you are generating or have generated most of your business in the past. Because we don't have to do everything, but we probably should be doing 1 or 2 things better than we've been doing them. And that's what this assessment is designed to do, to help you get really clear. How do you want to do your business? How have you done your business? And if you had more fun and made more income this year, what would you do? That's what this assessment is designed to do. Oh, and don't judge yourself as you're going through it. Just pick the answer that feels right. Don't overthink. And at the end of the assessment, you're going to be asked to score yourself. It doesn't automatically tally. What it does, think of it this way. If you answered 3 on every question, you scored a 30. If you answered 2 on every question, you scored a 20. So just go with your intuition, go with your gut. What range are you in? Okay, perfect. I've got it done. Thank you. So I'll let everyone just wrap up on that. And as you're wrapping up, here is our success mantra. So I said the first person I'm going to help convert is you as a realtor in this current market. The be do have mindset is this. This is what we're working on with our clients right now. The more fun I have, the more profit I make. So think about that for a second and let that sit. Imagine this year if you had more fun and you made more money. How cool would that be? Now we have to wrap that around the income. So imagine today, you and I are having our last coaching call of the year. It's December 31st, and you say, I'm so happy and grateful now I made X. What is your income target this year between now and the end of the year? You can take the first couple months, but how much money are you making this year? And here's what I'm going to encourage you. Don't worry about what you've made. Doesn't matter if you're on track to your goals, if you're behind on your goals, you're exactly where you need to be. So don't think about the market. What do you want? What is your income goal this year? What is your target? And write down the number that you would like for yourself by the end of the year. And I'm going to put out 300,000 for everybody because that's our roadmap. So if your number is higher, lower, pick your number. And if you don't have or you aren't clear, pick my number, pick 300. So the whole concept here is we first of all have to embody the identity of a realtor that's doing 300,000 a year or more, because that's possible in this market. I totally 100% believe you can make more money in this market than you've ever made before. And when I say that, often there's resistance because doubt shows up. If your mind, when I said that, if you felt some negativity or doubt, that's why belief is number 2 here. It's the most important thing we have to do is we have to convince ourselves that we believe our goals are possible and that they're going to happen. So if I'm helping you convert your thinking into believing you can achieve your goals this year, this is the first step, and it puts you 75 to 80% on the way of actually achieving that goal. And when we decide on a goal and we start to work on our belief and we maintain belief no matter what the doubt says, another way doubt shows up is I'm behind on my goals this year. I have listings that aren't selling, my buyers aren't buying. That's doubt. Our goal is we have to believe that it's possible and it's happening for us. And the way we do that is we use our imagination and we use the actor's technique. And the actor's technique is this. An actor gets a script, they take the script, they read the script, they memorize the script, and then they internalize the script and they become that person. That's the opportunity. Our opportunity is to follow like Daniel Day-Lewis, the only actor, male actor that's ever won 3 Academy Awards as the best actor. He had a method of acting. It's called the method acting technique. When he was in role, he was in character the entire time they shot that movie. Not when the director said action. He lived the role from the beginning to the end of the movie. So imagine you're shooting the movie, action, cut, everyone goes back to their normal life. He stayed in character the entire time they shot the movie. This is called the actor's technique. This is the opportunity you have right now as a realtor to put yourself in a state, work on your self-image, your future self, and believe that's who you are as a realtor right now in this market. Because you're going to convert buyers and sellers easier and faster if you believe that's possible. But if we have doubt, One of the big reasons right now things are slow for everybody is they don't believe they're going to sell the real estate they want to in this market. They don't believe people are buying and selling on a regular basis. So if we don't have belief, of course, we're not going to get the result. You're a master salesperson. That's another great declaration. I am a master salesperson. The more fun I have, the more income I make. Those two things this year, if you embody that into your conversation and worked on your own mindset, you're going to start to see magic start to happen. And then eventually you're going to believe and expect your outcome. This happens so fast. I've had clients in 30 days hit a goal that they didn't think was possible because we worked on mindset first. It's not always strategy. I'm going to share strategy, but we have to start with our own mindset, our own identity, our own beliefs before we bring on these new ideas or strategy. If not, we're bringing on more things, but they're not working, they're not converting. And then what do? We stop, and then we see somebody else doing something that we think, okay, that's the way to get successful. And then we start bouncing around and not completing anything. So my goal is to help you slow down, realize your mindset is your number one factor to work on. You convert your thinking that this is your best year that you've ever had, and you're putting yourself in a position where it will be. And you're going to do everything in your power to make that your reality. And when you believe that to be true, you're going to notice your confidence changes. So for anybody that's been around, I see a number of years in this business, think about the best month you ever had in real estate. You were feeling pretty damn good. Commission checks were rolling. They're in the bank, thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars sometimes in the bank. You had no worries, no stress. Money was flowing. You were out, you were traveling, you're doing all the things we do when we're in that state. That's the state we have to live in our mind before it actually shows up in this market. So you've lived it. The goal now is to relive it in your mind. Imagine this is the power of meditation, the power of visualization. We put ourselves in a state where every morning, every night, we're reflecting and being the best person we can be. Our company is called Be Do Have for a reason. We focus on being first, identity first. This is your best year ever. This is the Be Do Have mindset. We're implementing the actor strategy. We're using our imagination. Now, I intentionally spent some time on this because it's this important. Often we just burn through these slides and we get to, okay, tell me the stuff. The tools, the systems, the processes don't matter unless we change ourselves first. So we're moving forward now. I'm hoping I've put you in a state where, okay, you are going to have your best year ever and you're starting to believe it. And now I'm going to guide you through how do you help your clients so you can better connect with them faster and easier. So in the chat, if you could for me right now, just type in, what do you feel is your biggest challenge or hurdle right now, converting leads and clients in this market? And when we focus on the challenge, we'll start to see opportunities within the challenge. But I know and sense right now there's leads. Obviously, we have the challenge is getting leads into a call or a text or a conversation. Then once we do, then we have buyers and sellers, and they're stuck. Everyone feels indecision paralysis. You just nailed it. That's it. Everyone's waiting for something, and nobody knows what they're waiting for. You can ask them. They don't know. And the challenge, big challenge is we're listening to other people. We're listening to the news. We're listening to all this stuff that's keeping us stuck. The world's a crazy place right now. This is a market for the motivated. And if you could help somebody move forward to make a decision in this market, that's the number one job as a master salesperson. So the indecision gives you the opportunity to now ask deeper questions. And I'm going to share 4 questions with you in a bit. Listings not selling, sellers not reducing their price, sellers chasing the market down. Most realtors right now, if we're being very transparent, nobody knows what the price is. Forget about the last sale. You might even be seeing some current active properties inventory for sale lower than the last sale. And that means the market's dropping. It's dropping because motivated sellers have to sell. Anyone notice power of sales coming up? Well, power of sales are going to start selling, And that's going to drive the price down, which then causes buyers to sit back and say, I'm going to wait for a lower price. So indecision paralysis. Everyone's waiting for something. So how do we convert that? So in any sales situation, there's four approaches to communication that if you use the wrong one, you're going to lose the sale or it's going to take longer. So what are the opportunities here? So I want you to step into and embody the identity of a master salesperson. And what I mean by that is, have you mastered your mindset? Have you mastered your language and communication? Have you mastered the ability to really pull out from people what is their true motivation? The first thing somebody ever says is not the reason. Our job is, I call it the onion strategy. Whatever they say, your job is to peel back a layer so that you can get to really the heart of the matter. Why is somebody doing something? Because if we don't know the why, how are we ever going to guide them? It's never about price. It's never about upsizing or downsizing. There's something below the surface. What is it that they want to have? What is their true benefit? So the first job as a master salesperson right now is really taking conversations deeper. We're connecting with people deeper. We're leading people. Everyone at Century 21 Fulton is in an incredible office environment. Great leadership. They're there to support you. I sense and know this, your leadership wants your success probably more than you do. That's why they keep bringing this trainers in for you. They keep wanting to support you. Now it's your opportunity to step into the identity of the person that's going to achieve the goal you've set for yourself, and you got to want it so bad that your life depends on it. That's what true goal setting is. If we're not clear enough on that, we're going to allow people to take us off track. And therefore everyone's stuck, we're stuck, and now we're lost and confused and we're feeling more month than money. So let's convert one of your clients right now. Think of a client that you're currently working with that you want to close a sale with in the next 30 days. Could be a buyer, could be a seller, maybe it's two, maybe whatever your number is, but I want you to have one person in mind. Think of a name. Because as I go through now and break down their personality styles, you're going to start to see how that client shows up because of their personality. If we could learn to connect and sell to the personality, the person follows. So listening to what they're saying, peeling it back, and understanding that their behavioral style, their personalities has a massive impact on how people move forward and make decisions. So our goal is to figure out who are they? And I also want you to think about yourself as I share these next few slides. Who are you? Because there's four personality styles, and we have to know who we are, and then we have to learn to communicate with the other styles based on their language, based on the words that resonate with them. Because when we can do that, people are going to feel heard, they're going to feel like they're going to feel safe, and they're going to trust you. So we want to understand, who are these people? Because as a leader, we want people, this is your future here. We want your dream client to feel safe, heard, and understood. And this will increase your income. So again, four questions. They got to feel safe, heard, and understood. And now we're going to think about a client in mind. So the client converter blueprint is this, the DISC personalities. First question for everyone, if you've in the chat, if you can type in, have you or do you know your personality style? And if you've never done a personality assessment, there's all kinds of tools online to do it. Very, very valuable. And I'll be sharing an opportunity with everyone later as well, where I can give you access to a copy or how to find your DISC. Have you done your DISC assessment? And if you have, what is your personality style? Type that in the chat. I am a high D, high I personality. On the scale, I'm a 99% in each of those. And what that means is everything I do is based on those personalities showing up. I'm going to help you understand who they are. We're going to figure out, how do we implement this into conversation? How do we identify clients? And then ultimately, how do we communicate and converse with them? So I'm a high D, high I. If this, there's many tools out there to use to help to understand who you are. But once you know who you are, you start to see how it shows up in your life. So the DISC stands for dominant, influence, steadiness, and compliant. We have only 1% of the population is a 100% match in one personality. So that's so rare. Most of us have one or two personalities that are above the 50% line, or we call that the energy line. So you have one or two personalities that control your behavior. Those are your dominant personality styles. We all have four. Like we all have four, they all score at different levels. Ultimately, though, your number one driver personality is your dominant, controls everything, and especially under pressure. So you'll notice under pressure, certain personalities will act differently. Ah, ChatGPT says I'm a high D and I. Yeah, if you run through chat or any of the models, based on all of your inquiries up until this point, it will actually give you a good evaluation. So dominant personality. Here's this D personality. They are direct, results oriented, they love competition, and they hate wasting time. That's the traits of a D personality. So think of your client, think of yourself. They make decisions fast. I bought a car one time. I walked in. I said, I'd like that car in blue. When can I get it? I was the easiest sale I'm sure that salesperson ever made in his life. He said, don't you want to take it out? I said, no, that's the car I want. A week later, I drove out with the car. It was the first time I drove it. Now, that's a D. A C personality is never going to do that. So the C is an opposite of a D. A C personality, let's look at their traits. They're analytical, they're detail oriented, they're systematic, and they're very careful and cautious. So the D wants to be right, the C doesn't want to make a mistake. So do you have any clients right now that are analytical personalities that want to know the charts, the stats, the long-term evaluation, what's the historical appreciation in this neighborhood? They make decisions very slowly and methodically. They're polar opposite to a D. Think of a client, think of yourself. I personality is the influencer. They are enthusiastic, outgoing, sociable, persuasive. They're the ones when you go into a room at a party, they're working the room. They're out there, they're having fun, they're laughing, they're just talking to everybody. They stand out. They're usually loud. You can see them, you hear them. Think of a client, think of you. Steadiness, they're a combination of the I and the C. They're very reserved, they're patient, they're very supportive, they're great team players, they're very dependable. They honor their word more than anything. C's, C's and S's are very true to their word. So be cautious what you say. If you say something and don't follow through, is that affecting the client's communication and converting them into an active sale? And here's how that shows up. I had a client who I started working with. He would always say, yeah, I'll do that tomorrow. When somebody tells me that, I expect it to happen. I noticed a pattern. Never did it, or it was always late. That's a pattern. As personalities, that's going to turn them off because you didn't do what you said you were going to do. So honoring your word is key. Think of a client, think of yourself. And as I'm sharing different ideas going through this, I just want you to become aware of who are you first and foremost. Because once you know who you are, then you can learn to interact with the other three personality styles. Working with people just like us is easy. So high D, high I, basically an even match. However, under real pressure, my D will always override my I. I make decisions fast under pressure. I don't analyze. I've never read a review, a Google review in my life. Doesn't make sense to me. Here's how a D thinks. Why would I read somebody's opinion about their experience? I'll go have the experience and I'll see for myself. I've never read a review. My wife is an SC personality, reads all the reviews. Both my daughters, one of my daughters is my business partner when we started the B2F movement. I'm a DI, she's an SC. We complement each other and we also can butt heads. So understanding personalities, I learned how to communicate with her in a way that felt good and comfortable for her so she felt heard because I would override her. So are you overriding your clients, your personal relationships? Again, thinking of yourself and then clients. Communication style for a D, straight communication. They value efficiency. They do not want to be looking at houses for months. If you know their motivation and they're motivated, two key factors in this market. This is a market for motivated people. If they're motivated, they don't want to be looking for months. Your job as a master salesperson is to get really clear on what they're looking for and show it to them so they can buy a property. Because they just want it straightforward. They'll ask questions like, okay, what's it going to take to get this sold? In a competitive offer situation, Ds typically are going to go after it because they want to win. So if we knew that was the case, we want to use language that connects with the D personality. An I personality, communication style, they love interaction. Again, they're the party people. They work the room. They value collaboration. They don't want to make decisions on their own. They will ask other people as the other two person or three personalities as well. S and SCs and Is will tend to ask others. But they want collaboration. It's important to them. They're also very expressive. Body language, tonality, rate of speech. S and C personalities tend to be more methodical. They speak slowly. They think before they speak. Ds often don't think before they speak. They'll speak and then they just move on. They're not even concerned how that impacted or felt for you. So if you're a D, becoming aware that what you say to somebody will actually impact the relationship they have with you, especially if I'm with a S or C. And here's how it showed up for me, share a personal experience. When I was running the office that I was running, I would receive emails from people asking questions all the time. And one time after we were having a coffee after work, and somebody said, I got to tell you, Jamie, I was really insulted with your reply to the email. And I thought, okay, tell me more. So they told me about the situation. I said, open the email, let me see it. So they had sent a long email explaining a situation they were having. I replied to it, yes. They told me they were insulted. So I replied as a D to this email that they had sent, explaining this whole situation without the awareness at that moment in time that I need to reply and speak to people based on their personality style. So I should have gone back through that email and point by point reflected back to them so they felt heard and understood and comfortable with me. But they felt upset at me because I replied yes, because I went through it and just replied what I thought was the next step. Yes, do it. So how are you communicating with your clients? That's this awareness right now. And no judgment in any of this. Just look for the opportunities to improve so you communicate with people based on who they are. As personalities, communication style, they love harmony. They are big team players. They won't be the first to do anything. They won't be the last. They will be part of your group, part of the process of buying, selling, making them part of the buying, selling process, asking for feedback, getting them involved in the process. Same with the C. Ask the C to help you do market research in the neighborhood. They will love you. They're doing it anyway. You may not even know they're doing it. Often you know by the questions they ask, but how do you engage people in the process so they feel part of the buying and selling process? And then how do we lead these four personalities through this market with these questions? And the C personality, the communication style, data, facts, accuracy is so important. High D, I struggled with C personalities early in my career. they drove me crazy. They took so long to make decisions. Then I went through a training and I remember thinking, okay, there's a lot of people like this. So I'm either never going to deal with them, which I avoided for a long time, or I'm going to master my sales skills. So I made a decision I was going to get really good the next opportunity that showed up. And then I had a phone call in a farm area that I was working. Somebody called. He was selling his mother's house. He flew in from the States and he said, I'm here this weekend. I'm going to be interviewing 7 realtors and we're going to be selling the house and we want to have a meeting with you. So I made the decision I was going to put, this was going to be the best presentation of my life for a C personality. I spent a weekend preparing it. My listing presentation with him was 3 hours. Now for a D, one step in and out, make the decision, move on. That was an entire new experience. But what happened from that experience was he called me back. He said, okay, you're one of 2 people. We'd like another appointment. We went back through and we went through every question he had. The second appointment was 2 hours. I got the listing. And from that moment in time, I realized how important communicating with people based on their style. Is this making sense? Is this resonating with you? Are you noticing where there's opportunities for yourself that you can do a better job of communicating with people, especially knowing their behavioral style? Oh, let me share this with you. Here's the 4 questions. I do have a condo buyer that's a C and I find it hard. Okay. So now, what personality are you? Let me ask you that. Whoever just entered that. Okay, you're a DI. Okay, so DI, C, yes, it's going to be hard because it feels polar opposite. It's not your modus operandi, right? So we have to now identify with them and communicate with them in their style. So the first thing I would do with that buyer is I would sit down and say, okay, you know what I'd love to do is I'd love to have a reevaluation of where we are. I'm going to ask you some questions to help guide me so you can make the best decision, the right decision for you. The right decision is a powerful word for a C personality. The reason they do all the research is they want to make the right decision. The challenge with C's, they're the ones that often get stuck in paralysis because they do all this research, then they ask 1 or 2 people, and as a result of that, he realizes, oh, I need to do more research, and they keep doing research, and never moving forward. So I would be asking that C personality, help me understand again, where are you looking? Why are you looking? What's important about that? How are you going to determine when we find the property it's the right property for you? That's the question for a C. Always wants a strategy for every offer. See how it's all making sense? So the first question I'd ask him, I say, that's a great idea. What would the right strategy be for you? Let them tell you. Remember I said the onion technique, peel this back. Every objection you face now as a realtor, think of the feedback technique. That's another sales strategy. You take the objection, you feed it back to the person. And now you're all getting some secrets here as far as speaking in language of personality. You feed back the objection and then listen for the answer, but think of it not as the answer, think of personality. What's their personality? Based on the question, you're going to start to notice you can identify people based on personality. So yeah, price per square foot. See, that's logical. Now, as a D, it doesn't matter, right? As a D, it doesn't matter. We see properties that sell for less than they should because the seller is motivated. So for me, as a D, that is illogical. Yet for a C, that's 100% logical. So they need to know this. C's will help create spreadsheets for you, will be incredible. Ask them, how are you going to determine? So the question for a C personality is how. So you're going to start, I mentioned I'm going to give you 4 questions. Okay, how did I know he had a spreadsheet? Of course. Every C is the same. So now you start to realize, okay, how important is it to learn how to communicate with people based on their behavioral style? So C's ask the question, how? The C's motto, here's the motto of a C personality. I'd write these four questions and these four models down. C is how. Their motto is do it right. Doesn't matter how long it takes. We're going to do it right. We're going to do it once. The S personality, they ask the question, why? And their motto is better safe than sorry. So why is that the price? Why? Just listen for the whys. Now you're becoming aware of these four questions. You're going to start to hear people using these questions. As soon as you hear that question, it identifies the personality. Now, we all use these four questions in conversation, but listen for the pattern, especially when it comes to making decisions. The I personality, their question is who, and their motto is you can do it. They're big value parts of teams. They want to see everybody win, but they ask who. So as a realtor, if you're starting to work with an I personality, who do you know that lives in that neighborhood? Listen for the words. Who else do you know? Once you're in the neighborhood, who do you plan on inviting over and having a party at your first summer party? Who are you going to invite? Let them tell you their list of people you know. You want to really connect with an I personality? Listen for ways and common threads of your relationships. Find out where they went to school. Where did they work before? If you knew somebody that worked in that business or went to that school, identify them. Oh, I know somebody that went there. A friend of yours is a friend of mine. That's really important for an I. Excuse me. And here's the question for a D. What? What's the bottom line? D's just want to know what. D's greatest fear is wasting time. And then D's motto is just do it. So now we have the four questions. You're going to start to listen for patterns. You're aware of this now, and you're going to start to notice it all the time. So awareness is the first step. Just like when you did the income assessment, our growth begins with awareness. Where are we? So now you're becoming aware of personalities. So now let's take this one step deeper. So now we want to know the identification process. We call this the DISC cheat sheet, the do's and don't for each personality. What, who, why, how. I've put the four questions there and I've literally identified them based on colors. As you do a little bit of research, you'll notice there's different colors, there's animals that are attached to the personality styles. So the colors are red for the D's, yellow, I's, green, S's, how, blue, C's. So the do's and don'ts, give feedback immediately. You want to get a D on your side when they text you or call you, either pick up or call them back ASAP. They hate wasting time. So we want to live in their world. Now, if you're a C and you've got to transition over to a D, that is a transition that isn't going to be easy until you work on it and realize, okay, this is my process. So you start to live where people are, not where you are, because that's what keeps us stuck. As we start to evolve and realize, okay, I just need to learn how do I communicate with the other people, that in the beginning isn't natural, yet it will become natural as you put time and effort into this. So D's, fast. Just think fast. They want things done fast. They call you, they expect you to answer. They literally expect you to be waiting for them. Now, we all know, is that reality? We've got multiple clients we're working with, right? We have process, but D's want that. You give that to a D, they love you, they will move forward fast and easy. I's, we have to be enthusiastic. If you've had a terrible day and you're going out on a showing, you better step it up. Put on your mask, put on your identity as an I, and you show up and be enthusiastic. Let them talk, ask great questions. They'll talk your ear off, and we let them. When you interrupt them and you want to make a point, and then they want to make a point, and then nobody's listening and everyone's talking over each other, That doesn't work for an I. Let eyes talk. Now, as master salespeople, what do? We ask more questions. We should be asking more questions than we ever speak. Because when we ask questions, you're actually in charge of the relationship and the conversation. As personalities, often we need to slow down. They're similar to the C's because they don't want to rush to do anything. Better safe than sorry. Remember that? So they want to take their time. They need time to think about it. Even if it's the right house, they told you it's the right house, we're going to go back home and we're going to reflect on it. We're going to think about it. So our language for them is, and especially for S's and C's, look, I think this could be the right property. I think you might even feel that yourself. Here's what I'm going to suggest. I suggest you go home or at least take an hour and go back and think about it and reflect on it. And then let's jump on another call in 60 minutes or tomorrow, and we're going to have an evaluation of where we are. But take the time. I want you to make the best decision and the right decision for yourself. As an S or C hears that, they're not feeling pressured, they're not feeling threatened, and they'll actually pick up the phone. They won't ghost you. So thinking about how do we communicate with people based on their language that feels good for them, and we collapse time. We bring them closer to us. So they need time. And C's too, give time to think and decide. C's will take more time than an S. Give detailed information. Praise their research. That's incredible. And help them explain their research. Help me understand how you're going to logically make your decision to buy or sell. Think about sellers, think about buyers. If they're C's, now we have to help them move forward, and they're going to tell us how to do it if we ask the right questions. And answer questions practically. That means with logic. Logical mind is our conscious mind. Subconscious is our feeling. Heart. That doesn't work for them. They're logic. This shows up for myself. I'll share this with you. My wife does all the research of things. We've been together over 35 years. I will ask her a question knowing this is how she thinks. I'll ask her, I don't want you to overthink this. I just want your gut feeling. And I'll ask the question. She cannot give me a direct answer without processing. She literally, I can see it. She literally thinks about it, processes it. In her mind, she's figuring it all out before she replies. So C personalities think before they speak. I speak before I think. Being a high D, they just tell you. They don't care what you think. So our goal is to understand how do we communicate with people. Again, this is all about them. Now, here's an interesting stat. Guess what percentage of the population these are? Now, there's ranges that I've discovered or read. Here's the most common. D's are 9% of the population. I's are 28%. S's are 32%. And C's are 31% of the population. So 53% of the population, over half, are SC's personality. So as a salesperson, and ironically, most salespeople are IDDI personalities. So we're living here, and the vast majority of people are here, and this is the struggle. So if you want to flip it over and ultimately help them move forward quicker, speak in their language. The don'ts, this is as important as the do's. Frustrate the desire to take action. D's are quick, move, let's go. Let's get you into a property as fast as possible. They hear fast. Oh, I'd like to share this idea with you too, and I invite you to stop saying this. Stop saying I'm going to show properties. Replace that with I'm going to sell a property tonight. I hear realtors over and over, yeah, I'm going out on some showings. We reinforce in our mind we're showing properties. Started today with the identity of the be to have mindsets. Put yourself in a state, I'm selling properties. So you're going to program yourself to think every time I'm showing buyers, I'm taking them out to see properties, they're going to buy a property. You're going to convince yourself over time that you're selling a house every night. If you're going out every night, you're selling a house every night, not I'm showing properties. Showing's a state where you're a follower, you're not a leader. I came up in a call just before this, so I just wanted to share that with you, top of mind. You're selling, not showing. Back to the personality percentages. So we better start to figure out how do we connect with the other personalities, and we use that by their language, by the language we use, the questions we ask. Listen for what, how, who, when. People are going to bring this up. It's going to be so obvious now. In the next couple of days, you're going to hear it all the time. The reticular activator, right? I've just triggered that in your mind. Now you're going to become really aware of this. What, how, who, when. Listen for it. As soon as you hear it, think personality. Take the screenshots of these 3 slides. Let me go back here. If you haven't yet, feel free. Take this screenshot. This helps you. Helps you get clarity. Now, are you going to remember all this after this session? No, you won't. If you put some time and energy into this and start to study it, it won't take long to embody this into your identity. And this is the identity of a master salesperson. You'll get so good at this, you're not even aware of it anymore. It's sort of like the mirroring matching. As salespeople, we mirror and match what people do. You know, if somebody's rubbing their cheek, a second later, you start to rub your cheek. I learned this. I had a great coach who was also an acting coach, believe it or not. And that was a strategy he taught me, mirror and matching people. Don't make it so obvious. Like if they do this, you do it right away. But you're going to notice people don't notice it because they're not focused on it. But when we do that, we're subconsciously connecting. It's no different than rate of speech, how fast we speak. Are we speaking monotone? Are we inflecting our language? High eyes are going to be, they're up and down, they're excited, they're telling you all about the story, they're using their hands. You can see it with me. Being a high eye, I'm always moving my hands. SCs are going to be a little bit more monotone. They're going to be very reserved. They're going to speak slower. D personalities, hang on. They speak so fast. If they don't have the awareness of how they speak, they don't even understand, they're losing so much business. So if you're a high D, and again, salespeople or DIs, you need to slow down for the other people. Because if we're just racing through, you're going to be great with the Ds. The Is will tag along. The SCs, 50% of the population, you've lost. You're a master salesperson. That's the intention here, is putting these ideas into your mind so you start to realize the opportunities that are in front of you. Thinking about yourself, thinking about that client. As we went through this, did you get some ideas on how you can help them move forward in their buying or selling process? And it's going to be based on identifying them, speaking in their language, and asking the right questions, peeling back and asking the deeper questions. And this is a motivation market. The reason I believe this is a massive opportunity, it's a market for the motivated. So let me share 2 scripts with you that you could use right now with buyers or sellers. So if you have a buyer or a list of buyers or leads that you haven't connected with, great question. Could be done via text, email, or a call. Go old school, pick up the phone and connect. Here's the question. If I could find a property 20% below market value, would you want to hear about it? I'll repeat that. If I could find a property 20% below market value, would you want to hear about it? You could send that, and I had a client do this last week. They sent that to 600 people in their database. They had a list of all these old leads sitting there. They sent it out. 15 people replied. That led to 6 meetings face to face. They have 4 signed buyer agency agreements. They're actively out working with 4 buyers right now in this market that want to buy for their selfish reasons. They went from 0 to 4, sending that out, that message. Don't add to it. We have a tendency we want to add. It works in the simplicity. If I could find a property 20% below market value, would you want to hear about it? Somebody motivated, what are they going to do? They're going to raise their hand. I would encourage you to test it. On the seller side, question for a seller. If I could show you how to sell your property above market value, would you want to hear how? Same thing for sellers. If I could show you how to sell your property above market value, would you want to hear how? These are questions that are going to trigger curiosity. That's what they're designed for. And people will raise their hands. And the question is now, okay, I've got a strategy to help you sell above market value in the property. What is that approach? Well, that approach is the approach we've used for 2 decades. Everybody's used it. It's framing what we've already used. What is the approach? Finding out the market, pricing it below market so it seems like it's a deal, try to generate multiple offers, and that's going to drive the price. The question is, we don't know where market value is right now. Everyone needs to, I really feel, believe and accept, like nobody knows where value is. And you know that's true. If prices below are asking below what the last sale was, that means we're in price discovery mode. Nobody knows value. But the value only matters to two people, a buyer and a seller. What a buyer's willing to pay and a seller's willing to sell for. Those, I want to give you those as a bonus. 2 scripts that you could apply right now. And it just worked for a client. Like I said, they've got 4 signed buyer agency agreements. There's potentially $66,000, he said, of commission sitting there. That a week ago wasn't there. Converter tips, adjust your approach. Master salespeople adjust their approach. People aren't going to adjust for you. You have to adjust for them. We have to address their concerns. We have to use their language and provide next steps. So what did we do today? We just went through all of this. I talked through a lot of it, but that's in essence what we just went through today. All about communication, understanding behavioral styles, speak to people based on who they are, because that connects with them. They feel like, heard, and trust. The trust goes through the roof when that happens. Everyone's got, if you haven't done it, take a screenshot, do it after our call. And again, this was a snapshot out of our entire program. I'm happy to share more of this. If you're interested, drop me a DM, follow me on Instagram. And I'm thinking, how can I help all of you, especially those that showed up? And I wanted to give you a gift. So, Caitlin, thank you for, again, the opportunity. Leadership team, thank you. Appreciate this for you, and I want to help your people. So we are going to offer you a 30-minute mindset reset session. I'm waiving the investment. It's normally $147, and I'm waiving that for you. You can go to jamiepurvis.com. You can book that session. 100% zero obligation. My goal right now is to help you in this market. From there, I'll answer any questions you have. How can you apply this? Show up with some strategy. Like, what are you working on right now? Do your income assessment. I'll have that. I can actually guide you through how to make more money doing what you already love. It's your session. So I'm always fluid in those sessions, but I wanted to offer that as my gift to you. And I asked about LinkedIn earlier as an added bonus. Anyone or everyone that does book a session, I'll give you early access to our LinkedIn cheat sheet. There's such a massive opportunity on LinkedIn. Nobody's using it. So again, jamiepurvis.com, my gift to you. And I appreciate your time today. We made it 11 or
Thank you.
noon. It's
12,
11 o'clock
12,
my time.
12.
12 o'clock. There you go. I'm an hour difference.
Thank you so much, Jamie. Can I show you the spreadsheet that I have with the sequence?
Yeah, let's see it. Let's see it. And they're a C personality, right?
Yeah.
Oh, my pleasure. Yudia, feel free to book a session, please, everyone. I'm happy to do that for you.
All right. So
Let's
here
see.
is,
Oh,
can you see
you
it?
need me to stop share. I need to stop sharing. Hang on a
Oh,
second. Okay, go for it.
is it
Love it.
sharing now?
Yeah,
Can you see? Can you see it?
yeah, yeah. That's their spreadsheet to you.
No, so I usually keep a spreadsheet for all my clients. And so
Okay.
he just went a little bit crazier. Not crazier, but this is kind of how we've been dialoguing right now. And like, it's kind of frustrating.
Okay. So let me ask, are you open to some coaching?
Yeah, of course.
I always ask them instead. I got permission now. It's fascinating. Replace frustrating with fascinating. It's funny how it plays in
Fascinating.
our mind. Fascinating.
Okay.
Frustrating energetically is negative. It feels heavy. It's don't like it. It's fascinating. We come from curiosity. So now we look at this and we say, yeah, this is fascinating, but I expect it from a high C personality,
Yeah.
right? So notice like you're smiling, right? This is how we play this.
Well, to be honest, I did the discus analysis like a long time ago, like in high school,
Yeah.
but like you're bringing it back, so I find it very interesting because like I've known this guy. I've known him like more than half my life. Like he's like one of my best friends. So like I've never really thought about treating him like a or like analyzing how I would interact with him. But this
There
has
you
just
go.
naturally happened over time now, over the last 6 months, and so
Yeah. So now knowing this is how people work, see the power we now have? Like this is magic, everybody. Like this is literally magic because you're taking your sales skills and now you're elevating them to a whole different place. You might be doing it unconsciously until it becomes you become a conscious competence. So you consciously become aware of it and then do it consistently. That's when you truly are working towards mastery. So I would look at this and say, man, that's awesome. Let me ask you a question. How are you going to decide and determine the right property to buy when you see it?
okay.
Think
Well, what's
how.
really annoying is this one came out and he kept talking about he wanted under 600 with a parking spot. So now a new one comes in with a parking spot at the number that he wants. It's like, all right, let's go for it, right?
So I would
Uh,
peel back hearing that. I would peel back and go back to their motivation. See, what do buyers want today? They want a deal.
he want a deal, yeah. He 100% wants a deal, yeah.
Buyers today want what they didn't get for 20 years because they had to overpay for everything. Now they want the deal and they want the seller to pay. Is that true?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, pretty much,
yeah.
right? And sellers are holding on to something. Well, what does sellers say? I need this to sell. Well, in other words, you want a buyer to pay you more than it's worth so you can do what you need to do. That doesn't logically make sense because are you going to overpay when you buy a property because the
Oh,
seller needs more money? Right. So let's put the need aside. Tell me again what's important about selling. What's important about selling? One of the jobs we have to do today as salespeople is to get clarity on their motivation and keep reinforcing that for them. So this gentleman who said, okay, if I see this property, I'm going to buy it. We got to go back to what's important about it. I would use the language for him. If I could show you a property 20% below, here's how you do that. You put an offer in. See, I didn't share that earlier, but the byproduct of that conversation, because people often ask me, well, how do I do that? Put an offer in. Here's how we're going to do it. We're going to go out and we're going to help you find a deal. And the only way we get a deal is we have to put an offer. We have no idea what a seller is going to sell for. They have no idea. So I'm going to show you 5 properties. You pick the one you like the best and give me an offer 20% below market. See, realtors struggle with that more than buyers and sellers today. Buyers would thrive to hear that. Real estate agents struggle with it because we're in a different market. You haven't been around for 30 years. You have no idea to negotiate. I'll call out the elephant in the room. Negotiation is I need more money because there's 20 offers. That's old. That's the old reality. That's long gone. We need to develop our sales skills. So as salespeople, we negotiate. Everything's negotiable. I'm in Mexico. You negotiate everything here. Why? I am negotiating, and then I give them the price they ask because it's just the culture, right?
yeah.
So we have to go back to realizing, put an offer in. What do you have to lose? Nothing. It's going to cause most realtors to be very uncomfortable. But
I
the
am pretty
reality
pushy on
is,
the offers
start.
here. I am pretty pushy when it comes to offers. This one I've kind of let him drive it a little bit, only because I thought it was the perfect one and it hit all the boxes.
I think the personal relationship showing up there too. He's a buddy, right?
He is.
Help him move forward to get the property. Because see, here's the other thing. Everybody wants to be the low. Everyone wants the deal of a lifetime, and they want to buy at the lowest peak of the market or the lowest trough of the market. The reality is, you never know what the lowest was until it's gone. So we're going to have to buy in a range, but we don't know what the lowest is. So none of that matters. We're buying for our reasons. What's important about selling? You know, let's get in today. Start paying your mortgage instead of somebody else's. Let's get into the house that you want. versus, staying stuck in a box. Like these are the how we have to frame conversations with people today.
Well, this is
So
really good,
it
Jamie.
really is right now, everybody, like sales mastery is uncomfortable. We haven't been taught it. Nobody's fault. But this is why right now I'm seeing this massive opportunity. Everyone that was on this call today, like I'm singing at the choir. You're here, you're educating yourself, right? The vast majority of people, realtors, they're out there, they're lost, they have no idea what's going on. They're getting out of the industry fast, and that's okay. It's okay, right? Because those that are left, you're going to claim market share, you'll make more money, and you will build a business that you'll love for the rest of your life. So I hope that was helpful.
That was really good. I really appreciated it actually. I needed a
Beautiful.
bit of
Well,
a yeah.
book your
Anyone
call.
else
I'm
have any
happy
other
to.
questions or want to share any spreadsheets? All right,
Like I said,
awesome.
I don't look at reviews. So when it comes to stuff like that, I both the three women in my life are all review queens. So I ask them, I'll do whatever. I go with the flow. Yeah.
Yeah, me
Here's the
too.
three I like. Which one do you think is best? I'm on to my other thing, and they come back with the research, and I'm good either way. Awesome, everybody. I
All
appreciate
right.
the time. Appreciate you being
Thank you
here.
so much, Jamie.
My pleasure.
All
Have a
right.
magical day, everyone. Take care.
All right.
Cheers.
Bye.
Okay.